A beautiful evening to you and welcome to another rainbow-like edition of your weekly tonic, Sunday Extra, from the stable of the News and Current Affairs Department of OSBC Radio 104.5 FM, where we always make your Sunday evening typically interesting. We promise that today's edition, being the first in the month of July, is not going to be an exception, as we have, as usual, packaged it again, segment by segment for your maximum satisfaction. And now to the gist of the bulletin. The governor of the state of Osun, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, has reiterated the commitment of his administration to the provision of adequate security and delivery of good governance. Governor Oyetola gave this assurance while fielding questions of the congregation at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Osun Province 9, Osogbo, ahead of the forthcoming gubernatorial election. In this bulletin, Osun Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Abdul Ghani Raji, implored pen pushers in the state to abstain from sensationalism and unverified information that can breach electoral process ahead of Osun governorship election. Also, we have a report of how Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara State announced the commencement of training for a newly established security outfit, Community Protection Guard (CPG), to tackle banditry and kidnapping in parts of the state. The focus today on Sunday Extra segment is the enthusiasm and excitement of any residents as demonstrated towards the election or re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola at the forthcoming gubernatorial election, when his campaign train stopped by at Asian Town, as well as other activities of the governor during the outgoing week. And once again, this is Sunday Extra, reaching you live from the broadcasting village of OSBC here at Iliawuji Okebale Osogbo. Come along with me for the entire package. The governor of the state of Osun, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, has reiterated the commitment of his administration to the provision of adequate security and delivery of dividends of governance. Governor Oyetola gave this assurance while fielding questions of the congregation at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Osun Province 9, Osogbo, ahead of the forthcoming gubernatorial election. Adebare Ejimakede has the story.
Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, while addressing the congregation on his agenda to the people, if voted into power for the second term, assured of his government's commitment to total development of the state's economy. The governor was responding to questions ahead of the forthcoming gubernatorial poll in Osun, alongside other political parties' governorship candidates, including Honorable Lasun Yusuf of Labour Party, Kehinde Atanda, the ADP flag bearer, and the PDP candidate Ademola Adeleke, represented by Mrs. Omotosho. Governor Oyetola, who itemized some of his achievements in various sectors of the economy, emphasized his resolve to further enhance dispensation of good governance through provision of employment, improved economy, health care delivery, free education, agriculture, and implementation of youth policy documents to make them compete favorably with their colleagues globally. Governor Oyetola, who was represented by his deputy, Mr. Benedict Alabi, explained that his administration has taken giant strides in the provision of adequate security, improved health care system, free education, job provision, diversification of the state's economy, ensured cordial relationship with workers without any industrial dispute, while urging the populace to continue to support the determination for second term in office to further consolidate on the achievements attained. Other governorship candidates also took turn to inform the people about their party manifesto. Governor Oyetola had also visited the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Osun Province 9, where he urged the people to vote for the continuation of the ruling party towards sustaining dividends of democratic governance. Present at the occasion was the head of service, Dr. Oluboyega Oyibade, and other political stakeholders. Adibare Ejimagide, OSBC News.
Journalists have been implored to abstain from sensationalism and unverified information that can breach electoral peace and processes in their reportage before, during, and after the July 16 governorship election in Osun State. Osun Resident Electoral Commissioner Professor Abdulghani Raji gave the advice at the Independent National Electoral Commission Capacity Building Workshop held in Osogbo. Sahid Adibaje was there.
Journalists from print, electronics, and social media stormed the Osogbo venue of a special Independent National Electoral Commission capacity building for them in Osun State in preparation for the July 16th governorship election. In his address of welcome, the resident Electoral Commissioner of Osun State, Professor Abdulghani Raji, noted that INEC is working day and night to ensure that the forthcoming governorship election is free, fair, and credible. According to Professor Raji, additional polling units have been created to ensure that eligible voters are not disenfranchised. He implored journalists to disregard rumors and be fair in their reportage. In his goodwill message, the chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee, Mr. Festus Okoye, took the gathering on the technological revolutionary move by INEC to ensure more credible election. Mr. Okoye noted that apart from modern technologies put in place by the electoral body, the Electoral Law 2022 as amended remains a guide for INEC. Presenting our papers titled Technological Innovations by INEC with emphasis on biomodal voters accreditation system, the HOD voter registry and ICT, Mrs. Olufunke Toki explained that the BVAS has been carefully designed to recognize the face and fingers of the voters in all the polling units across the state. Mrs. Toki noted that with BVAS, issues of multiple registrations and multiple voters have become a thing of the past. She added that election resource falsification has no space again, as result will now be available and transmitted from each polling unit. The stipulations of the Electoral Act 2022 and the election was the basis of discussion by the INEC head of legal department, Mr. Tunde Salako. He noted that inducement during election is a crime punishable under the law. According to him, the commission will do everything within its reach to ensure that anybody caught violating electoral laws will face the wrath of the law. There were briefings on INEC election monitoring and support center by special advisor to the chairman, Professor M.J. Kuna, and a presentation on INEC social media platform where the chief press secretary to the INEC chairman, Mr. Rotimi Oyekami, explained that factual reportage of INEC activities are updated. The workshop climaxed with an interactive session chaired by Professor Bolade Eila. Said Adeboje, OSBC News.
Governor Bello Matawalle of Zamfara State has announced the commencement of training for a newly established security outfit, Community Protection Guard, CPG, to tackle banditry and kidnapping in parts of the state. The announcement was contained in a statement by the press secretary to the governor, Jamilu Brini Magaji Ingiso. The statement said that the new outfit will give needed support to the conventional security agencies in their efforts to end banditry and kidnapping that had ravaged the state. He said the decision to establish the CPG was informed by his administration's desire to use possible options to deal with the increasing act of banditry causing loss of lives, untold hardships, and rupturing inter-communal peace in parts of the state. The governor urged the guards to concentrate fully on their training as the task ahead of them was enormous and daunting. Intended pilgrims from Niger State have been stranded at the Buso camp for the past 3 days, 2 days to the end of airlifting of pilgrims to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It was gathered that the Saudi Arabian Authority has slated next Tuesday for the closure of airlifting of pilgrims to the Holy Land. Lamenting the situation, some of the travelers accused the Niger State government and Pilgrims Welfare Board of a nonchalant attitude towards the planning process of the Hajj operations in the states. However, they appealed to the relevant authorities to urgently intervene in the matter to enable them beat the deadline set by the authority of the Holy Land. One of the intended pilgrims who spoke anonymously the attitude of the board while accusing it of actually keeping away details of the information concerning the pilgrimage from them. In the meantime, checks have shown that states such as Adamawa, Borno, Ebonyi, Kaduna, Lagos, Kogi, Sokoto, Enugu, Osun, and Oyo are, among others, had lifted their pilgrims to the Holy Land, even as some of the pilgrims have been there for almost a month. Reports from Plateau State have it that at least 2 persons, including Baba Jirima Jabi, the village head of Angwin Baraya, a Mango local government area of Plateau State, have been shot when government attacked the community in the early hours of today. It was led that while the village head was rushed to a nearby hospital in the council area, his son, Chamson, who was also shot by the government during the attack, died on the spot. A resident of the village, Elias Sampson, who confirmed the attack to journalists in Jos, explained that after shooting the victims, the gunmen abducted the wife of the village head and fled into the bush. A spokesperson for the Plateau State Police Command, Alabo Afrek, could not be reached by newsmen when contacted on the attack, as his mobile phone was switched off at the time of filing this report. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has demolished illegal mechanic workshops at Igbo in Abuja Yanya Kefi Expressway. According to the Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister on monitoring a Haro attack, the government had marked the land for the livestock market. Atta explained that the workshop owners were served with quick notices 3 years ago. He added that the operators and owners of the workshops were again served reminders about 5 months ago. Atta disclosed that complaints were received from the FCT Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat that some mechanics took over the land, the situation which has said first the ram sellers to move close to the main road and thereby causing distortion and traffic. He concluded that the demolition was part of efforts to enhance sanity in the city during the forthcoming Eid al-Kabir celebration. The death as a cult of Alhaji Toib Ayinla Bamidele of Amugi Lese Compound, Okebale Osogbo, as stated by the family spokespersons, Honorable Kamaldeen Bamidele and Mrs. Rashidat Olawore from USA, has it that the patriarch died yesterday at the age of 99 and has since been buried according to Islamic rites. The statement added that the final outings and day fidel prayers for Alhaji Toib Bamidele will hold tomorrow at his residence behind Maternity Center, Okebale Osogbo, in the afternoon under the chief imam of Osogbo, Alhaji Sheikh Musa Animasham. Dignitaries expected that the occasion include the Ataoja of Osogbo, Oba Jimoh Oyetunji Olanipekun, and his subjects, while Sheikh Mubino Sawiya will be the chief host. Alhaji Toib Ayinla Bamidele is survived by wives, children, and grandchildren. You're now welcome to Sunday Extra Proper. On this new edition for the month of July, the enthusiasm and excitement of federal residents demonstrated towards the re-election of Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election when his campaign train stopped by at the ancient town, as well as other political activities of the government during the week is our focus.
The campaign train of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola breathed into the warm embrace of the avalanche of party supporters in the ancient town of Ede, in the north and south local government areas of the state of Osun. Members of the All Progressive Congress walked from Okegada in Ede up to the Palace of Timi amid chants of party slogans as Governor Oyetola acknowledged applause atop Automobile Roof. Governor Oyetola, who received the symbolic royal blessing at the Palace of Timi Agbale of Ede, said that he is in the race to Bola Ige House in consolidating on the incredible pace of transformational developments shaping through Osun landscape and improving positively on the lives of the citizenry. Governor Oyetola noted that he is passionate about the developments and progress of Ede as demonstrated around Ede town, as well as in the appointments of Ede indigenes in his cabinet. Timi of Ede, Oba Muniruddin Adeshola Lawal, supported by traditional rulers and chiefs in the area, lauded Governor Oyetola infrastructural developments shaping through Ede and its environment, stressing that one good turn certainly deserves another in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
What is Shefua Leletan Shilowe? Ìgbà tí ọmọ mi ambassador wa His Excellency tó ń sọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n ti sọ àwọn ọ̀nà tí wọ́n tó ti fi sẹ́mi pé àwọn ìbá ṣe tí tí ó sì dàbí ẹni pé ó ti wà nínú àkàní ẹ̀ tó sì jẹ́ pé ti di ṣíṣe tí a bá fún ẹ láǹfààní níwọ̀n ìgbà péréte tó kù àti láti tẹ̀síwájú tí ó sì di ṣíṣe ọlọ́ọ̀bá yóò tẹ̀yìn síwájú.
It was a triumphant entry for Governor Adegboyega Oyetola at Obalaoye Grammar School, Ede, as members and party stalwarts submerged his premises in large numbers, defiling heavy downpour in demonstration of absolute loyalty and commitments toward the victory of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the forthcoming gubernatorial election. Governor Oyetola, who commended the residents for their doggedness and determination, reassured them that more dividends of democracy is pretty much in the kitty for the town.
There is no longer the same. There has changed. There is now with us, absolutely. Even the road show was particularly very impressive. The audience from the KBC was good. I'm confident that we will win this time around. I must thank you then for notwithstanding the heavy downpour, they still remain resilient. You can see they're still very much around. It shows a lot of commitment on the part of the party members and the people over there to want to ensure that we continue to govern the state come 16th of July this year. They should be very hopeful. They've done very well. I'm confident that we're winning. And I want to assure them that we continue to live up to the expectations in those areas of infrastructure, health, security, and the welfare of the people.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Boyega Famodun, the director general of Oyetola's campaign council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, as well as Ambassador Adejare Bello, harped on the need for Ede residents to reciprocate the good gesture demonstrated by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in infrastructural developments in Ede and ensure his re-election in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
Between what happened in 2018 and now, you can see things for yourself. Let me tell you, we have done what we're supposed to do. Even the opposition, PDP, they know themselves that here in Dende, they are in trouble. We are not ready for brigandage. We are not ready for thuggery and some other things. But in terms of mobilization for votes, we are ready. And from the turnout of today, you can depict that Ede is ready for Oyetola.
Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, the wife of the deputy governor, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, former deputy governor, Mrs. Grace Titilaoye Ponle, head of service, Dr. Ologbeyega Oyebade, members of the state executive council, members of the state house of assembly, leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state. Communities in Ila and Ifedayo local government areas of the state of Osun, including Ila Orangun, Okela, as well as Ora Igbomina, were pretty much elated to receive Governor Adegboyega Oyetola's campaign train with fanfare for his re-election in the forthcoming gubernatorial election, while receiving the traditional royal's blessing at the palace of Orangun of Okela, Ashaoni of Ora Igbomina, Akesin of Ora Igbomina. Governor Adegboyega Oyetola maintained that he is consciously guided towards improving the lot of the people, as being demonstrated with numerous welfare policies and infrastructural developments that resonates with the yearnings and aspirations of the people, adding that if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election, he would deliver more dividends of democracy across the state. Orangun of Ila, Oba Abdulwahab Oyedotun, Orangun of Okela, Oba Abolarin Adedokun, Ashaoni of Ora Igbomina, Oba Joshua Tinuoye Atolagbe Akesin Ora Igbomina Oba Samuel Oladoye Idowu extolled the landmark achievement recorded in all ramifications by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, stressing that Governor Oyetola deserves to be supported for another term in boosting the profile of the state that is currently unfolding under his leadership for the benefit of all. Addressing the Mammoth Party supporters that thronged Ila Orangun and Okela town squares, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, who noted that moving the state forward with social amenities and accelerated economic developments is paramount and very dear to his heart, reiterated that if re-elected, his administration will continue to pursue critical initiatives in transforming the life of the citizenry. Governor Oyetola therefore implored the eligible voters to ensure that they are in possession of the permanent voters card to exercise their franchise in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
I've come to thank them for their support for the past 3.5 years, and I ask them to continue to support us. I've told them that my party has, asked me to continue to fly the flag of the party for the coming election on the 16th of July. I will still need their support. We have 3 wards there, and this place is highly thickly populated. So if one is able to get some of these votes together, it makes a lot of difference. And they've seen the few things we have been able to do within the period of 3.5 years. They are willing, they are ready to support us. So this is the essence of my going around.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Gboyega Famodun, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, urged the residents in the area to keep eagle eyes on their ballots and ensure landslide victory for Governor Adegboyega Oyetola. Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, the wife of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, members of the State Executive Council, members of the State House of Assembly, leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state. The campaign rally was intermittently punctuated with dancing and chorusing the rhythm from the bandstand. Irewole Local Government Area, Irewole North East Local Council Development Area, Ishokan Local Government Area, as well as Ishokan South Local Council Development Areas in the state of Osun erupted into frenzied excitement as the All Progressive Congress Party supporters welcomed Governor Adegboyega Oyetola campaign train into the ancient towns of Ikire, Akpomu, and Ikoyi amid dancing and singing delightful party lyrics. At the palace of Alapomo of Akpomu, as well as Akire Palace, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, who received royal blessings from the royal fathers and chiefs, reassured them of his commitment towards transformational developments, as well as overall welfare of the citizenry if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election, while showering encomiums on Governor Adegboyega Oyetola for the remarkable achievements recorded in all ramifications at Alapomo of Akpomu, Oba Kayode Adenekan Afolabi, as well as Akire of Ikire, Oba Olatunde Falabi, flanked by traditional chiefs in the area, maintained that it is pertinent for all and sundry in the state of Osun to ensure the re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in the July 16th gubernatorial election. Addressing the teaming members of the All Progressive Congress at Akpomu Town Square, as well as St. John's Anglican Primary School, Ikire, Governor Oyetola noted that he possessed the prerequisite intellect and exposition in the art of good governance has been demonstrated with numerous laudable achievements in infrastructural developments, educational transformations, qualitative health care delivery across the state, as well as general well-being of the citizenry, adding that he is determined to continue with the giant strides for the benefit of all, if re-elected in the forthcoming gubernatorial election.
Ensure peace. We want a free and credible election on our side. So, you can see actually come out massively.
The state chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Prince Boyega Famodun, the Director General of Oyetola's Campaign Council, Senator Ajibola Bashir, also highlighted the achievements recorded across the state by Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, stressing that it is significant for the state to sustain the tempo of developments unfolding under the leadership of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola in taking the state onto an enviable pedestal. Dignitaries on the campaign train with Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, including the wife of the governor, Mrs. Kafayat Oyetola, the deputy governor, Mr. Benedict Alabi, the wife of the deputy governor, Mrs. Oyefunke Alabi, the national secretary of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Yola Omishore, secretary to the state government, Prince Wole Oyebamiji, head of service, Dr. Ologbeyega Oyebade, chief of staff to the governor, Dr. Charles Akinola, members of the state executive council, members of the state house of assembly, leadership and members of the All Progressive Congress from across the state. From the governor's office, Saya Ononinde for Sunday Extra.
That was the full package. Well done, Soya. And a large program on OSBC Television, Security and You will return tomorrow morning, mark the first anniversary of live transmission with presentation of papers by security experts. Are released by the organizing committee sites, the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Wale Olokode, and Alhaji Ridwan Hussein are among the paper presenters of the program, while Professor Oluwaina will be the chairman with Honorable Taufik Badmus, representing Osogbo State Constituency in Osho State House of Assembly, as a special guest of honor. It further states that the Oluwo of Iwo by Abdulrasheed Adewale is the real father of the day, while the Director General of Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, OSBC Conglomerate, Mr. Abdulrasheed Folarami, is the chief host. Meanwhile, the OSBC management and staff will be in attendance. And that's our package on Sunday Extra for today, being the first in the month of July. Many thanks to the audio officer, Olajumoke Oladipo, my secretary, Olukemi Olufemi, and executive producer, Bimbola Babatunde. My editor today is Nathaniel Ojegoke. Not forgetting to appreciate Latif Agbola and Omodolakpo Agbola for providing the needed assistance from the sidelines. I am Olushayo Babatunde, wishing you a pleasant week ahead. Good evening.
You are live. On Osun Radio. Osun Radio.
Community radio at its best.
104.5 FM.
You're listening to 104.5 megahertz.
Just like water, we are your indispensable companion.
Osogbo to Lagos, from Lagos to Abuja, from Abuja to Enugu. Indeed, in every nook and cranny of Nigeria, OSBC Radio 2 and they're there for you.
You're listening to OSBC Radio 104.5 FM. Ilia Abuye Okepale Oshobona. Studio time is 6:30. Time to join us for Revival Hour, sponsored by Holy Ghost Revival Mission.
Báwo lọkàn rẹ jẹ́ òṣèlédè, èyí ló ṣe pàtàkì. Wákàtí ìsọjí mìíràn ni ó ń dé sí etí ìgbọ̀nyín. Àdúrà wa ni wípé kí Ọlọ́run bùkún yín lónìí lórúkọ Jésù. Oníwàásù wa ni ìyìn Ọlọ́run Evangelist Joshua B. Ajégbé. Ẹ gbáradì láti gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ Ọlọ́run láti àti inú iṣẹ́ ẹ̀mí ọkàn àti ara yín yóò di alábùkún fún àmín.
Good day, our dear listeners, brothers and sisters.
Ẹ kú dédé wòyí ẹ̀yin olùgbọ́ wa ọ̀wọ́n arákùnrin àti arábìnrin.
You are welcome to the second half of the year 2022.
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí abala kejì ti ọdún 2022.
And you are welcome to Revival Hour.
Ẹ sì káàbọ̀ sí wákàtí ìsọjí.
The Lord bless everyone in Jesus' name.
Kí Olúwa kí ó bùkún gbogbo ènìyàn lórúkọ Jésù.
Before we go into the message of today,
kí a tó wọnú ìwàásù tèmi yìí lọ.
I'm informing you of something special the Almighty God is introducing to us in today's Nigeria.
Mo ń sọ fún yín ní ti ohun pàtàkì kan tí Ọlọ́run alágbára ń fi lọ̀ wá ní Nàìjíríà ti òní.
And that thing is wholesome character in everyone.
Òun náà ó ní ìwà pípé nínú olúkúlùkù ènìyàn.
And God is calling us now to wholesome character development in everyone.
Ọlọ́run sì ń pè wá báyìí wípé kí olúkúlùkù ènìyàn kí ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní tọ́ ìwà pípé dàgbà.
And brothers and sisters, the message is this.
Arákùnrin àti arábìnrin ọ̀rọ̀ náà ni èyí.
If this is what God is introducing to us now.
Tí ó bá jẹ́ èyí ni Ọlọ́run fi ń lọ̀ wá báyìí.
1, let us pursue it.
Èkíní, ẹ jẹ́ kí a lépa rẹ̀.
2, let us possess it.
Ìkejì, ẹ jẹ́ kí a ní.
And as many as are possessing it, let us propagate it across the land.
Iye àwọn tí wọ́n ní, ẹ jẹ́ kí a tàn kálẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ wa.
Please, you can read Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 on a very serious note concerning this special pursuit.
Ẹ jọ̀wọ́ ẹ lè ka ìwé Fílípì orí ìkẹrin ẹsẹ̀ ìkẹjọ pẹ̀lú àròjinlẹ̀ lórí ìlépa pàtàkì yìí.
And I say happy new month to you in the name of Jesus.
Mo sì ń kí yín wípé ẹ kú oṣù tuntun yìí lórúkọ Jésù.
We continue reading the 7 letters of Christ to the 7 churches.
À ń tẹ̀síwájú ní kíka lẹ́tà Kristi méje sí àwọn ìjọ méje.
We have read 4 letters already.
A kà mẹ́rin náà.
The letter to Ephesus.
Lẹ́tà sí Éfésù.
The letter to Smyrna.
Lẹ́tà sí Smyrna.
The letter to Pergamos.
Lẹ́tà sí Págámù.
The letter to Thyatira.
Àti lẹ́tà sí Thyatira.
Today we are reading Christ's letter to the church as Sardis.
Lénìí ni à ń ka lẹ́tà Kristi sí ìjọ ní Sádì.
Let us pray.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí a gbàdúrà.
Father in heaven, we give glory to you.
Bàbá wa tí ń bẹ lọ́run á fi ògo fún ọ.
We thank you for another opportunity we have today to listen to your word.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ rẹ fún àǹfààní mìíràn tí a tún ní lénìí láti tẹ́tí sí ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ.
I pray that your spirit help us today.
Mo gbàdúrà pé kí ẹ̀mí rẹ kó ràn wá lọ́wọ́ lénìí.
Introduce your mind, your will to everyone in Jesus' name.
Fi inú rẹ àti ìfẹ́ rẹ hàn olúkúlùkù ènìyàn lórúkọ Jésù.
Let your will be done in our lives.
Jẹ́ kí ìfẹ́ rẹ kí ó ṣe láyé wa.
And your name shall be glorified.
A ó sì yin orúkọ rẹ lógo.
In Jesus' mighty name I pray.
Ní orúkọ Jésù tí ó lágbára ni mo gbàdúrà.
From Revelation chapter 3.
Láti inú ìwé Ìfihàn orí kẹta.
I read from verse 1 to 6.
Mo ń kà láti ẹsẹ̀ kìíní sí ìkẹfà.
That's where we have this 5th letter of Christ to the churches, and this is to the church at Sardis.
Ní ibẹ̀ ni a ti rí lẹ́tà ìkarùn-ún ti Kristi sí àwọn ìjọ, ìyẹn sì ni ìjọ Sádì.
Revelation chapter 3 from verse 1.
Ìwé Ìfihàn orí kẹta láti ẹsẹ̀ ìkíní.
And unto the angel of the church in Sardis write, These things saith he that had the 7 spirits of God, and the 7 stars. I know thy works, that thou hast a name, that thou livest and not dead. Be watchful, and strengthen the things which remain, that are ready to die. For I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. There are a few names, even in